What it is, what it do, what it is.
Hello and welcome to Coming Up for Air, an introspective podcast.
That way.
I am your co-host, Jaxon.
Your co-host, Senior Brandon.
No, you leaving out Himothy today?
Yeah, bro, we're gonna leave Himothy alone. Just for today. I said it
Okay.
enough today at work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we're going to the podcast. Hope you guys are doing all right.
Yeah, bro. Shout out to all our people everywhere who are listening, wherever you're at. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, real quick, actually, I want to talk about this really quick. I didn't even realize that this, I just thought about this. There was a guy on YouTube who commented. I don't know if you checked any of that shit. He commented on the first episode, and I just replied to him. Whoops, my bad, dude.
My fault, bro.
But he commented on the first episode, and he was like, I don't know how this ended up in my algorithm, but this, like, listening to the first 40 minutes of it really, like, helped me and really made me realize that, like, I don't need to rush to get anywhere, because we talked about you and your whole, like, journey to just, like, make money as quickly as possible. Yeah. We talked about all that, and
yeah, bro,
crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's fucking wild.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that kind of just goes to show, like, our whole entire, like, we don't know who we're gonna. We don't know who we're gonna impact. We don't know who we're gonna touch. Who's gonna listen? But it's kind of like we're just putting out an opinion that we think someone's gonna care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, let's dive into our check-in.
My check-in, fitness is going pretty fucking good. My man Jaxon keeps reminding me that I look good, and it's some positive reinforcement that I do need in my life. So I'm getting there. I'm able to, bro. If you knew me in high school, or if you've known me within the past 2 to 3 years, I've always talked about, like, push-ups and, like, the fact I was never able to do push-ups. The fact that I can bang out 25 push-ups, like,
pretty good
with ease. I've never been able to do some shit like that. So for me, it's kind of like I'm slowly knocking out, like, little things. Yeah, like, in my mind, I'm slowly knocking out little things.
Taking boxes.
Yeah,
taking names.
Exactly. You know, so it's just little things like that, and I think it's been kind of cool just to see myself, like, progress and, like, my body start to, like, show it too. So yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you, dog.
Of course, dog.
What a thug. Also, the second part to that was yeah. Working for the restaurant industry after not working there for so long. I used to be a dishwasher and I used to be a cook, and so
you used to be a cook.
Yeah, I was a cook at Ona Hawaiian, and so that was, like, my senior year. That was, like, my, like, part-time job while playing football. Mm-hmm. I would do it, like, every other day. I didn't have practice or whatever. I'd go to work and work on the weekends and shit like that. And then after I graduated, I ended up working for said coffee place. And so I haven't been in a restaurant in a while. So it's been it's been triggering, yet kind of, like,
but this is more like a real restaurant.
Yeah, like, this is like a real ass business. Like, they take their shit serious. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool to see, like, the difference and, like, how everything kind of runs smoothly. And honestly, our managers are pretty fucking.
Also, if our manager Sonia is listening,
oh yeah, bro, shout out to you, dog.
You're amazing.
Yeah, you're a thug.
So fun to work with you.
Facts, bro. You stay cracking jokes. I appreciate you. But yeah, our managers are dope. It's a pretty easy ass environment. There's no, like, even when the pressure's on, you know what I mean, with, like, hella people coming in and shit like that. I don't know. I still feel like everyone, like, even with everyone, like, oh, this, all that, it's always just like, we're vibing, bro. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, like, because for me, I always carry the mindset of said coffee place. Like, at some point, these people are going to get out, they're going to get their food, and they're going to leave. Yeah. We're going to close at some point.
And I literally was talking to her about it the other day, because people were getting tilted as hell. They were so pissed off. And I was like, she was like, how are you liking it? And I was like, some people just get too upset. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know. I think that I've gotten to a point with most of the time in work environments where, like, and every now and then it's okay to be upset, but most of the time where I'm like, you're leaving at the end of the day. Like, either way your shift ends.
Especially those people who aren't closing. Like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, you literally leave in, like, an hour.
Yeah, bro. Like, it ain't that serious. Like, don't let these fucking entitled ass people fucking completely control your day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
what about you, my boy?
I want to talk about doing a big old piss.
Okay.
So my dad comes up to texts me the other day, and he is like, hey, where are you right now? I'm like, I'm at grandma's. Why? And he's like, okay, well, I'll be there in a minute. I need to talk to you about something. I need to ask you something. I was like, okay. So he shows up.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So he shows up and he's in his room and he's sitting down and he's like, hey, take a seat. Like, pop a squat. And I'm just like, okay.
This is all my fault.
He makes it sound like he's like about to come out or something, right?
This is all my fault.
And this man goes, I need you to pee for me. I was like, what?
Huh? Hello?
And he was like, yeah. I have to take a drug test. Allegedly. I have to take a drug test, and I allegedly need to pee, you to pee for me. And I was like, okay. Oddly enough, this isn't the first time in my life that I've had to do this.
You're a G.
Well, it's funny because I'm the friend in the group who doesn't really like drugs, so I'm the fall guy. I'm the one who they're like.
Let alone even like you don't get drunk, you know?
No,
what I mean? Like
you're
very
cocktails for fun.
Yeah, like you're a very like you raw dog life, and that's why you're like I respect you so much for being able to raw dog life the way you do, because I would never.
What a wording.
That's how we explain it, bro. You raw dog the shit out of life.
But
no hat.
So he's like. And my dad doesn't really like drugs either, but he was like, yeah, I was trying to fall asleep, took a gummy, didn't help. I don't like taking gummies. I was like, yeah, you never do. I don't know why you took it. It doesn't change anything. But like, what messed me up was like, Dad, you knew you had this doctor appointment in a week. What the fuck?
Yeah, like.
And the reason why it's important that he doesn't fail is because they'll kick him off medication that he needs if they find it. Anyway, so now I'm talking about it live on the internet.
Oh, well,
Allegedly.
It never happened.
It never happened. Unless I say it did. In which case.
It didn't.
Yep.
That's fucking funny.
Also, before we dive in, this will be releasing on Wednesday something. Happy Father's Day. Happy late Father's
bro.
Day. Hey,
happy Father's Day to all the people who got multiple kids. Happy Father's Day to all my single dads. Happy Father's Day to all my single moms who act like dads, who play both
Big
roles.
Facts.
Happy Father's Day to all of our people who have lost children. You're still a parent. Your child is still up there looking down.
Or wherever.
Happy Father's Day to all the people who have brought life into this world, man. Genuinely. You're appreciated. Also, shout out to you for even thinking about bringing life into this world right now where the world is currently at.
That's crazy. Also, but yeah, happy Father's Day to all of you people. You
fucking love you guys.
Loved and you're thugs.
Yeah, bro. Rock stars.
Also, our background is undergoing another change. Long story short, couldn't get the things to stick, so they're getting done. But so if the audio is a little weird, that's why.
Hey, if someone
be fixed by next episode.
If someone here works or knows connections to command strips, tell them to fix their fucking product, dog. It's dog shit. Sorry,
I disagree.
I'm a little angry right now. They're dog shit for sound panels.
There you go.
Correction.
I love command strips.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, just not for sound panels.
Yeah.
All good things.
Anyway, I think it's time that we dive into our main topic.
Yeah, bro, I'm with that because I honestly don't even know what we're talking about.
So, wow. Today we're talking about I'm literally about to read it, dog. Maintaining a healthy work environment. So kind of talking about what is a good work environment, how to talk to your coworkers, discussion between work and fun, the idea of like positivity makes or breaks the environment, and like your work ethic mindset, all of that stuff, what to leave at the door, all of that stuff we're going to kind of touch on.
Yeah, bro, where you want to dive in first out?
I think that we should talk about, I think we start at the beginning, which is like what makes a good work environment? What really sets up a good work environment for you?
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. For me, when I want to be able to set the vibe and let everybody know how I'm doing, I come in with a big ass smile. I come in with some like.
You come on with a big ass.
Yeah, I come in with my dump truck, right? And I walk up in that bitch. And
that's right. It's gonna be one of these episodes. Oh no.
I walk in with my dump truck, right? And I walk around and I let everyone know, like, hey, bro, what's up? I hope you're having a good day. Hey, dog, how you doing, dog? You know what I mean? Like, genuinely say what's up. Check on your peoples. And, you know what I mean? If someone looks like they're stressed out.
Slap on the ass.
Yeah, GG's. I tell people during work, I'll be like, hey, bro, I don't know if anyone's told you in the past hour, but you're doing a great fucking job. most of the people think I'm just saying it just to say it, and then someone would just be like, "Oh, thank you," and then keep moving. But like the homie Jonathan, he looked at me, he was like, "Damn, bro, thanks, talk." Like you can just tell he was like, "Thanks, bro, I appreciate it."
That dude, funny as shit.
He's a goober. I love that man.
He's a goober.
He's hilarious, dog. Hey, if you, I'm gonna tell him to watch this, bro. Shout out to you, Jonathan.
I was like, hey, dude, the reason why you're getting fired is because you made fun of my Tourette's. And then he was like, I did not make fun of your Tourette's. Don't even start. He said, I asked you questions. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Bro, you know what's funny about that is this is really shitty, but my man, so we're sitting at the bar, right? And we're not sitting there. Obviously, we're working. But
standing,
yeah.
Even.
Yeah. And it was like towards close. You had already, I think you were in the like opposite about to leave type shit. Like you were just doing random shit. And my man Joe started whistling. Right. So I kind of like get up and I was like, and I looked around and I saw Joe doing it because I was looking for you. And then I looked at him and he was like, what? And I was like, I started laughing to myself because I was like, oh, I didn't know if like my boy like was stressing about something. So I was like, I like laughed to myself and I was like, I literally like chuckled to myself and I was like, nothing, bro, you're good. He was like, what? And I was like, nothing, bro, I just thought it was something. He was like, what do you mean? And I was like, don't worry about it.
You could have explained it. I don't give a shit.
Well, yeah, but that's obviously like, that's not my business to like put out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's you. I don't really give a shit.
I feel you, and I appreciate that. But for me, it's just more of like I tell my close homies, like, yeah, but no, it was funny to like in my head play that over. But I just don't like telling people like other people's business.
No, I got you.
Know
this
I
is
mean?
me giving you permission.
I appreciate it.
Live on the air.
I'm literally about to tell everybody. I'm like, yo, my best friend right here, Tourette's. Don't fuck with him.
Anyway, so what else do you think makes a good work environment? Because for me, it's people's mindsets, their ability to stay positive, and then like have any form of work ethic. Like if you are able to like get your head down and like do
just
your
stay
shit,
busy.
Yeah, like do your shit whenever you need to do your shit. Like that's what's important.
I think a big thing for me is not only that, but a lot of people like I catch a lot of people at work checking their watches or checking times, and for me that makes shift go by slower. So if I just put my head down like you said and I just work. Sometimes, especially food running, bro. Food running, it flies, bro.
Yeah, you know what? Low-key, I check watches whenever it's like, when are we getting our rush? And I think that's something that old job has instilled in me is like, I look at time and I'm like, our next rush is in like 30 minutes.
Let's get everything ready.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that makes a good work environment for me is like
preparing. Being prepared.
Understanding like there's time for us to like, we can chill and breathe for a second. If it also means that whenever things get hot and heavy, you strap on
Plus
the boots. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel
head
you.
down.
Yeah, and I think like it's just like a good work environment is like, I don't know. It's like for me, especially like in the restaurant industry, I look at it as like sports. You know what I mean? So like if we're all a team, we all have our single jobs. You know what I mean? Like in football and soccer and basketball, everyone has their job. And if everyone does their job, then
that scene in The Blind Side. Have you seen The Blind Side?
Yeah.
And she walks out onto the field and she's like, you'll thank me later. And then she's like,
oh, I think
this is your quarterback.
Yeah.
He is me.
Oh yeah. She breaks it down as like, this is your family. You need to protect your family. The next play, he drives the dude, literally puts him over. Yeah, and he was like, he had to go home, so I'll put him on the bus. And the coach was like, all right. Yeah, anyway, no, but I think
good movie.
Yeah, fantastic movie. Yeah, no, but it's more of like it's a sport thing. And in my head, just like from me playing sports all my life, like I kind of think of it as like everyone has their job to do, everyone has an objective, and if we all do our objectives correctly and in a timely manner, then we all win.
Yeah, and I think that kind of dips into work ethic. How do you have that mindset? How do you have the mindset of like maintaining a positive work ethic, or like how do you think you develop work ethic for those who are starting jobs? This is the number one thing that you should take into a job is developing a healthy work ethic.
Yeah, and it's not even like.
And for those people who tell you that work ethic starts with school, fuck those people. They're wrong, because my work ethic is so different than my school work ethic. Yeah,
because like for me, like even coming in, like so when I come into a new job, right, or if I'm ever coming to a job that's like, all right, I don't really know what I'm doing yet. I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to be like, I'm a dumb bitch. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not afraid to be like, yo, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I need help. You know what I mean? And a lot of people just don't know how to like speak up. You know what I mean? Like,
it's okay to not know things also.
And even if you do know things, there's people at our job that like you can tell they're stressing and they're too afraid to ask for help. And I'm like, dog, you have people here for you. Like even Justin today, he was like behind the bar and shit like that. He was like, hey dog, I'm gonna be honest with you. He was like, it's just like said coffee place. He was like, we are a team. If you need help, I got your back. Regardless, we're gonna get this shit done. You know what I mean? And it's like that mindset and letting people know that their back is taken care of can go so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that your work ethic also comes from, you have to understand like why you're going in and know that like you can't just show up for the paycheck. You got to show up there to work.
No.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves with people is like, especially when it's people, it's their first job and obviously you're going to be young. And so you wanted to fuck around or whatever. Like, I think that your first job is pivotal to establishing your best, like what your work ethic standard is going to be though.
Bro, that's why that first job at said coffee place is, I think, the worst first job for people.
Unless you're someone like me who starts hammering into the people, because that's what I started doing recently. I was like, put your fucking head down and get to work.
So, like, here's how I see it, right? And I explained it to people when I first started working there. I was like, bro, I've been a dishwasher. Coming out at 2 a.m. smelling like rotten meat and having the in my shoes type shit.
The Crocs, the wet Crocs.
Bro, like talking like you literally sound like you just got out of walking in the ocean type shit, okay? Because we were flooded in that bitch with water.
Aquaman.
It was stupid, dog. I was like, I've been a cook where I'm burning 90% of my body so that way these fuckers can have some food.
Sheesh, man.
You know what I mean? So when I got to said coffee place, I was like, oh.
Easy life.
Easy. Doesn't matter how busy it is. Doesn't matter how many people. Like, bro, we're making coffee. We're literally making drinks. 90% of the people don't even know what the fuck they're making. They're just throwing that shit in a cup and giving it to a customer, and the customer doesn't even know what the fuck they're getting. So
people don't know what they're eating.
People do not know what the fuck that they order, and they don't know the difference until people genuinely start paying attention.
Just in general, like people don't know what they're putting in their body. But regardless,
they're like, "Oh, this sounds good. Fuck it." I'm like,
your mindset to work is so pivotal because if you come in with the mindset of like, I'm just gonna phone it in, one, everybody around you is gonna get fucking annoyed. The mindset to phone it in, or like your mindset to like, I'm just gonna kind of coast and like do the bare minimum, means that somebody is picking up your slack and that person's gonna get pissed off and nobody will want to work with you.
And in that same sense, in the same sentence, if you are going through something, or if you are, this kind of goes into the whole leaving shit at the door.
Yeah, we can start talking about that.
I understand that like there are certain things that you obviously don't bring into the workplace. You know what I mean? Like there are just certain things that like, all right, bro, we get it. You know what I mean? Like you are, like you have shit going on. You don't have to put that on everyone else. But also in the same sense, it's not bad to let somebody know, whether it be a manager or like one of your closest people. Hey dog, today's really not a good day for me. If you could help me out, that'd be fantastic. You know what I mean? Because how many times have you had someone come up to you, or even you told your crew at shift, at POW, you know what I mean? Where you're like, hey dog, listen guys, like I'm really just not having it today. Like I'm probably just going to be in my own little lane type shit, yada, yada, this and that. You know what I mean? Like if you guys need anything, like, yes, I'm here for you. But like, if I seem out of it, it's because I am, you know what I mean? And at that point, not only is everyone acknowledged it and knows, but it's like, all right, bro, now I know what to look out for.
Yeah. And I think that it's hard finding that line of like, what is stuff that is okay to bring into the environment and what is stuff that you need to leave at the door. Because here's the thing, this literally happened recently of like a conversation where a manager was talking to somebody who was having a rough day, and then they were like, okay, well, you have like a really bad attitude and it feels like it's bringing down the shift. Like it feels like it's bringing down the crew, which is like such an awful thing to say.
Terrible way to put it.
Yeah. And they're like, so
Basically
can you just like fake it for a little while?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually wild, bro. Telling someone to fake their emotions.
Yeah.
Dog shit.
Bad move.
You're as a manager, that's crazy. And to tell someone, hey, you're being the cancer of this shift, just so blatantly.
Yeah, and just being like, you're the reason why we're sad vibes. Like, and yes, those people do exist where like you can walk into a stand and you can feel like one person is fucking up the
just
vibe.
On 10.
Yeah. Or on 0 and everybody else is on 10. but like the way you approach that situation and the way you deal with it is so much. There's so much grace that has to be held, and there needs to be an understanding of like some things you can't leave at the door. It's not just like I can switch this off, because we're human. We have things that we're going through, you know. I remember, and obviously everybody's different, but I remember, this is the second episode in a row I think I've talked about it, but when I lost my grandpa, I still came into like rehearsals, which for me was work. And then they were like, you can take time off, like it's okay. I was like, no, because I just bury myself in work. I'm like, yeah, I want to stay busy, I want to do shit, and
keep
like
your mind off things.
Yeah, this is something that I like to do. But there was also that understanding that like I told people like, look, I'm a little touchy, I'm a little on edge. Yeah, like, so, you know, if
because there's also huge times where like, well, I've seen it multiple times, I'm sure you have too, where people come in with you can tell something's wrong and they're going through something, they don't want to talk about it with anybody, and it takes one customer or it takes one small little fuck up or negative thing to happen and everything explodes. I mean, the whole world is literally coming down.
Do you want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
I was at the work, and it was me, and then two coworkers. And the first one was Hot Boy, who always wears sunglasses when we're working. He only works nights pretty much. And
I know what you're talking about. Okay.
And then another one of our friends, or another one of the coworkers, who you're not as familiar with, and then Shay.
Okay.
And me and Shay got a little heated. And then so she's in the back counting money, and then the other two are doing cleaning tasks. And I'm doing top stock. So our cups basically come in boxes, and the small cups go above where the small cups are stocked, like top stock, where you can pull them down from. Like the whole box is go there, though. The problem is there's a cross beam that goes above, and then our like storage shelf. If the person who just did top stock with that box puts it to where the flap is on the inside and isn't held down by the crossbeam, you can't get the box out easily.
That box isn't coming out.
And I'm the tallest person in that stand. And that flap was on the inside. Something that I've said multiple times, like, hey, make sure you do this. And so
hell broke loose.
Yeah, I was trying to get it out. And A looks at me and is like, do you need help? I'm like, no, it's fine, I got it, because there's no way you can help. I have the ladder.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna do, climb up next to it?
Yeah, like, I have the ladder. There's nothing you can really do to help me in this situation. Yeah, like, there's nothing you can really do in this situation right now, and I'm the tallest person, so it's easy if I just like keep trying it. And then like I get to the point where like I'm getting really frustrated, and then he asks again, do you need help? And I just like yank the box. I'm like, no, I don't fucking need help. And like, this stupid bitch stocked it like this, and like I'm just going off. I'm on like a tear, just shouting, like, and like just like I'm pissed. And we're closed at this point, so nobody's here, but I'm just like, if people just do their fucking job, then this wouldn't be a problem. And it was a little bit of a rough shift too. Yeah. But like it was like I just was snapped.
Lost it.
And then like they just kind of like, okay, and like pulled back. and like I felt so bad, but I was like, how do I leave stuff that's happening here also at the door? and I think that was just because you talked about like the snap happening. But
yeah, just like that little, it's the little things, bro. Like when people like, and even not in that case, but like, you know, like we've seen it multiple times where someone comes in and like you can just tell like, oh,
they're on a bender.
Yeah, bro. Like this dude's looking to this one's looking to ruin someone's day today.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's like, honestly, it's really hard to just be like, I'm gonna leave everything at the door, and it's it's not practical to do it. But there is some amount of it that you have to kind of be willing to put behind you, because of the fact that like you are there to work, but we're human, and your life doesn't just fizzle away as soon as you enter a location.
Yeah, like you're not a robot, dog. You know what I mean? And if you do have one of those managers, if you do have any of those people that are like, yo, like, fuck what you're going through, leave that shit at the door, fake it till you make it.
Look at them dead in the eyes and be like,
hold my cock. How about that?
Just be like, haven't you ever gone through anything hard that's made work difficult?
Especially at said coffee place, no one has any room to say anything to anybody else because 99.9% everyone in that bitch all is going through the shit in life.
Everyone everywhere is.
Yeah. But it's like
I'm going through it.
Everyone has a story. Everyone has shit that they're going through. You know, like we've talked about in previous episodes, like do not judge the next person or don't expect the next person to do something you wouldn't do. There are so many people who ask and tell people like, yo, can you do this? Or, hey, like, you're here to do this. And then, you know, you look at them and go, you would not be able to do this if you were in my shoes type shit. You know what I mean? Like when you running the stand, when not having said title, like nobody in that fucking place would have been able to do what you did.
And I think that there's some stuff that is just difficult in general to like talk about with your coworkers or be like, hey, like this is something that I'm going through, or this is how I feel, or I feel like this is really difficult right now, or I don't feel like I'm being treated fairly. Like those are all things that can be really difficult to talk about to your coworkers. So don't ever be afraid to just be like, hey, like it's just not a good day.
Yeah, like you don't have to.
And I can't leave all of it at the door.
Yeah, bro. Like if you're not trying to, you know, explain your whole life story to that person, just tell them straight up, like, yo, I'm having a bad day and I'm going through the shit, dog. I'm not gonna fucking be here and just ruin everyone's day. But also, like, if I seem touchy, if I seem snappy, like.
And I think that kind of like corrals us towards like positivity making or breaking your environment. And obviously, both of us have worked in an environment that is very positive heavy.
Whether it be toxic positivity or not.
Yes. And I think that is something to kind of talk about because especially whenever new people are around with like your positivity levels can really, really affect the way that person perceives the job, if that person stays or goes, how they go into the job in general. Like,
yeah, like I've had so many people come up to me and be like, hey dog, how the fuck are you always so like
upbeat
or happy? You know what I mean?
I'm not.
I literally look at them and tell them, I'm like, bro, I'm not happy. I'm just trying to have a good fucking shift, bro.
Yeah, and I think that it's hard because this kind of counteracts the whole like leave your shit at the like don't leave your shit at the door. It's okay to take it in, but we've both been there where like we have shit we can't leave at the door and it fucks us up.
Yeah,
but this is coming from clear-headed boys right now of like understand that. At the end of the day, you get to clock out, you get to leave, like we said, and the more you just like hold on to it or try to like be resentful or bitter on a shift or like, you know, bang your head against the wall of negativity, the longer your shift will be, one, and two, the more miserable you'll be. If you just go in with that mindset of like,
it feels like it drags, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean?
If you go in with that mindset of like, fuck it, you know what, this shit sucks, but I get to clock out in like 2 hours or 3 hours and that shit can fly if I'm just like goofing off and like in a good way, in a positive way of like being like, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to like do my little dancey dance when I'm waiting or like, you know,
yeah,
like
and I think
whatever it is.
I think with that, it's always hard because obviously, like you said, like me and you have been through and I think dealt with enough things that like, that we both kind of know genuinely not to like put our problems or the shit that we're going through onto other people.
I think we also have both learned that like we can't make people have fun.
Yeah, and
they'll have fun if they want to.
Yeah, because like I'll be honest, even when I started food running and shit like that, like they all like, you know, me dancing or like me like singing songs in my head and shit like that. Like some people look at me and be like, "Damn, bro, you're a goofy ass motherfucker."
Yeah, no, because I did that too. I was dancing on the line and they were like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Waiting for food."
Yeah,
like vibing.
Yeah,
they're like, "You can't even hear the music." I'm like, I don't fucking need to hear it.
You said I got music in my fucking dome, dog.
My brain hole.
Yeah, bro, because, like, I do that shit all the time, and I'll be, like, rapping lyrics and shit like that, and then I'll have, like the homie Kai, she'll sit there and be like, all right, bet, and then, like, she'll vibe with me and stuff like that, or then we'll have other people who look at me and like, all right, bro, you're goofy as fuck. I'm like, hey, bro, you're boring as fuck. Leave me alone. I don't know what to tell you. You look like you hate your life, dog. Yeah. Like, sorry.
And, like, that's what it mostly boils down to is, like, it's for you. Positive work environment makes time fly, and it makes the people around you slowly want to get more positive. And like, yeah, you know, and plus this is what fucks me up, dude. Okay, so servers get so pissed when people tip poorly, and I get it. I really do, because that is your paycheck.
That's literally majority of their check.
Yeah, like living off of that, and so I get it. Because you have to pay bills, you have to do shit, and I'm working 2 jobs. I 100%, and both of them are tip dependent on how much I get.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it 100%. But here's the thing. you think that if you go to a table and you're pissed off about your last table not tipping or whatever, or you feel like these people aren't going to tip,
it's going to come off on the next table.
Yeah, you're not going to, the positive like vibes that you emanate and your ability, like people can tell that shit. I can tell when you're being fake as fuck to me, and it makes me not as interested in you. But whenever I roll up and you're like positive and you're like upbeat with me, or you're having fun, or you're like, oh dude, like, you know, like I like your shoes. I don't know, you said that shit earlier.
Facts, bro. Hey, yo, that girl's shoes were fly as fuck, bro. Them bitches were.
I literally turned to Jeff, Cam, and Casey, and I was like, that's Brendan's type. And I know what he just did.
No, yeah, like it was, and it wasn't even like I was trying to hit on her. It was a more like I had peeped her, and I was like, oh, she kind of fine. And then she had gotten up. I didn't really look at her shoes, and I like peeped her shoes, and I was like, oh, and she got a shoe game. I was like, that's kind of tight.
My name's Jerry. I got a shoe game. I got a basketball game tomorrow. I'm point guard.
So when she grabbed her food and walked past, it was just kind of like a slight like, because for me, this is how I think about it, right? If I'm going through my day, right, and someone randomly, if someone randomly comes across me and they go, hey, bro, your fit's hella dope, or this is hella, I fuck with it. Like when people see my tattoo, like they go, hey, bro, that's a sick ass tattoo. I'm like, thanks, man. You know what I mean? Like I don't know who you are, but thanks, dog. And so like that girl, she literally stopped in her tracks and like looked down because she thought something was wrong. And I was like, no, those are fly as hell. She was like, oh, thank you. And then just kept it pushing. And I was like, yeah, bro, I got you. And then I got stared at from Jaxon and all his fucking roommates because they were like, oh.
Because we like giving him a hard time.
I was like, shut the fuck up.
But I'm right. Your type. Anyway.
She did have them crystal blue eyes. I was like,
so. God damn. Every time.
My social security card number is.
But it was one of those moments of like, what the fuck were we talking about? Oh, you know, you have that like level, like you come into that interaction, you're positive. Like when I'm running and talking to cars, like, and I come in and I know that my like excitement or like my happiness is so much more genuine, I know that I make better tips.
Yeah. Because
they can tell that I actually give a shit. They can tell that I'm not just going through the motions. They can tell how like excited I am to talk to them, or like how much I like am trying to pour into them.
And I know Jaxon probably is going to give me some shit for saying this, but whatever you put out into the universe is exactly what you're going to get back. Wholeheartedly. Because for me, I realized it when I was in my whole like fuck love, like down, depresso, espresso, like stages. Because for me, it was like, what? Go ahead, say what you want to say.
Yes,
say what you want.
But it depends, because what I'm saying is yes, like it does whenever it comes to this thing. Because like I said, if you go with the positive mindset, you'll have better interactions. But I think you're wrong on certain degrees, and this is a different conversation for a different time. We've already done this game.
No, but I mean, like for me, it's like if you're gonna continuously, you know, if you're gonna go into shift, like, all right, today's a terrible fucking day. My life is terrible. Yada yada. The universe is all they hear is terrible, 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 negative shit. They go, all right, bet that's all you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why.
So like, regardless, like me and you, we've learned and kind of like trained ourselves to like, all right, bro, I'm going through shit and I'll still be able to talk about it and tell people like, yeah, I'm going through this, but I'm not going to let it dictate how I'm going to go about my day. Because 9 times out of 10, how much of that shit that we stress about can we control?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's no point in letting it dictate your entire day.
I think that also gets into, wow, that is really my transition phrase. How I've listened to these episodes so much, dude. Editing them and just listening in general, just so much.
Hell yeah, brother.
How do you talk to coworkers? How do you have that conversation? Like, and in general, like, what is the like? And I think it obviously depends on your environment and who your coworkers are and the relationship you have with them. But how do you talk to your coworkers, whether it be about difficult things or just in general?
I'm a little different because for me,
because I'm built different.
Well, one, I am built different, and two, because
I'm Himothy.
I am Himothy. Is there any more?
No.
All right, cool. For me, it's just more of like a.
I'm Brendan. I got a big beard.
I actually trimmed it.
I know. I can tell.
Yeah, I trimmed it a little bit. Yeah, because there was a lot of split ends. I was like, no healthy shit. I
can't believe you just said that. Yeah, keep going. Tell me about how to speak.
No, for me, genuinely, it's like, bro, who is this other human that's going to be able to fucking judge me and tell me what I can and can't do? So, like, I'm so open about, one, what I've gone through or what I'm currently going through, where my, like, head is at with shit and, like, my feelings and shit like that. Because if someone asks whether they actually care or not, for me, it's more just hearing myself say it. So that way I like, oh shit.
Compartmentalize.
You know what I mean? And then for me, first try. Yeah. For me, it's just more of like, this is another random ass human being that I don't have to be afraid to tell whether or not like what's going on, because who are they to judge me?
And I love you, random citizen.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, this person can judge me whether they care about me or not. This person can say whatever they want. If they ask me how my day's going or what I'm like, what's going on type shit, I'm gonna let you know. You know what I mean? I'll throw it straight up on you, dog. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't care. You know what I mean? I think people care about too much about like what others thinking. Like, oh, I kind of want to withhold this from, you know, telling somebody this, yada yada. And for me, it's like, why, bro? Like, that person probably has done worse shit, or like, not everyone's fucking golden sunshine and rainbows. You know what I mean?
Everybody's done bad shit.
Exactly. So like for me, it's like I don't care if you judge me or not, because like, who are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that it's hard to kind of tell what layer of conversational pieces you're also on with certain coworkers and stuff, because there's some people who like one day I'll be talking to them and I'll be like, oh yeah, and the next day I talk to them, and they're not there. They're just like silent.
It's like ghost conversations.
And I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. Like, I don't know how to talk to you anymore. But our boy, the one who said we're supposed to be together.
Oh.
He was talking to me today, and I was giving him like advice on relationships and stuff, because he was like, what happened with like you and your significant other? He was like, I don't think that you asked them, because just my vibes off of you. I was like, nope, I asked them. I was the one who started everything. And they're like, how? Like, what? Like, how did you do that? And I was like, I just talked to them. I was like, I was friends with them. I was like, who's this person you like? They described them, and then I'm like, have you talked to them? And they're like, no. And I was like, so you don't like them? I was like, you like how they look? And they're like, well, no, I get like, you know, I blush whenever they're around, and like, you know, I like looking at them. I was like, but you don't like them.
Yeah, bro.
You like how they look.
Bro, that's like my biggest thing, dog, because a lot of people like even I should got caught.
That's what fucked me up about like Tinder and Grindr.
Yeah, it's like I just use that shit to like look at people and remind me how many people are out there in the world, so that way I don't get butthurt. You know? I'm like, brother, I'll just scroll through and be like, bro, there's so many baddies out there.
Look at all these fucking people.
There's so many fish in the sea. I'm good.
Look at all these people.
Look at
there's
all
so many
those
fish
chickens.
in the sea, yet I'm floundering.
Exactly. No, but like for me, it's like the way I explained it to other depressed, heartbroken man's behind the bar today. I told him, I was like, bro, for me, it's like I could look at a bad female all day, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love to compliment people, especially like women, bro. Like, respectfully though, because you can tell the difference between like someone being weird and then someone being like genuinely like,
hey there, smooth skin. I like your scent.
And then someone who walks up to you and is like, hey, bro, you genuinely look beautiful. You know what I mean? And then
your scent. I hate you.
But for me, it's just more of like I could look at you all day type shit. But if I pick your brain and I realize that you're a dodo bird, it doesn't matter how bad you are, bro. Like, you could be like,
how much you know about dodo birds, dog?
I just know that it's called dodo bird because you're a dodo bird.
They're extinct, aren't they?
Yeah, probably. But like, my thing is like,
damn, you said she brain dead.
Basically, fuck, bro. Because it's like, all right, bro, let's talk about some weird shit. Let's talk about like, hey, do you believe in aliens? Like, what you believe is out there? You know, you're just like random shit like that, bro.
This all was to prove the point of like, my relationship got deeper with that person because they asked me a question that allowed me to get deeper with them.
Yeah.
Dude, what is that saying? It's like, it's literally, people at old jobs said it all the time, and it's like, share to like deepen your connection or something like that, or like be vulnerable to show that you're comfortable with this, like with these people or whatever.
Oh yeah, well yeah, because in most relationships or friendships, like everyone has that like nervousness about taking that first step and being vulnerable and being like open with people, you know. So that's why like
Trauma.
yeah, because of trauma and because you know people don't like letting other people in. But for me, it's like I have things that I'm open about and can fully release to people, and then there are things where I do keep. But like once people kind of pass those certain walls, I'm like, all right, bro, like I'll tell you whatever the fuck you want to know. You know what I mean? Like I had one of the girls who I was working a morning in food running, and we were just talking about relationships, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm about to get off earlier so I can move my dick appointment up. And I was like, good for you. I was like, must be nice. And then she was like,
nice.
and then she was like, yeah, she was like, I get it pretty often. She was like, it's a good time. And I was like, good for you, dog. She was like, you can tell me you're just not out here. And I'm like, no, why? And then she was like, why wouldn't she be? And I'm like, because I'm not dirty like that. One.
Oh.
And two, well, she has a boyfriend, so it's like her man's. And I was like, one, I'm not dirty.
That's what a way to word your I'm meeting up with my significant other.
Well, yeah, she was just goofing, but yeah. And then she was like it just got into it, and then she was like, yeah, it's been like 2 days, and I'm like dying, and I'm like, bro, it's been like 7 months for me, 8 months for me. Yeah. And she looked at me and she was like, what the fuck? And I was like, because I don't need that shit, dog. Like for me, it's like, if I'm just here to fuck you, dog, or if I'm just here to pipe, bro, like I know I can be doing other shit with my time, bro. Like for me, it's not that deep, bro, because if I wake up in the morning, or if I roll over and I look at you and I have no connection to you, or if I like can't like vibe with you, there's no point in me like being that intimate with you type shit. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, fuck it. She was like, oh, so you need like an emotional connection with that person? And I'm like, it would be nice. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not out here fucking putting it in every hole like I can fucking find, dog. Like I'm cool off that, bro. I've had too many homies like that. I've seen how that life goes. I'm good, bro. Like I'm straight off that. Hey, but shout out to all my hoes, bro. You know what I mean? If you are a hoe out there, listen, bro. If you for the streets, bro, be for the streets. Okay? They need you out there. I'm cool. I'm on the sidewalk.
Let's talk about healthily solving problems with coworkers.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're talking about, huh?
Yeah. You know, when I talk to people about this podcast, I'm like, yeah, it's like I'm the executive producer. I'm like, I set all the stuff up. I make sure it looks mostly good. We're trying to work on it looking better. I'm like, I make sure the audio is all good. I make sure all that stuff. And I try to corral us into a general, like, conversational direction of where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, you try to keep the tunnel, and every once in a while we steer off, and then you're like, all right.
But I feel like we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on the, like, it being more like a conversation with your friend at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Of, like, us just, like, every now and then we goof and stuff, but we still, like, drive home our main conversation.
Well, yeah, because I feel like anytime like you have like one of those serious or deep conversations.
This is a business meeting you guys are included in.
I'm a businessman. Whenever you have those conversations, like deep conversations with your friend, you always do end up steering off or like saying some goofy shit that adds onto it, and then you're like, oh yeah, we were talking about this.
You would come up for air in those conversations.
Oh, you're ugly.
You seen those TikToks? He makes like a dad joke, and then he like slaps a chair, and then he
Yeah, my brother sent me that shit, and I was like, I hate you.
Anyway, I think about that all the time. How do you healthfully solve problems with coworkers when you have a dispute or something?
People are not gonna like this, bro. Be confrontational. Confront people. Do not be afraid, and you don't have to be a dick about it. People don't understand.
Confrontation doesn't mean
be an asshole. Do not come at somebody and be like, "Hey, bro, I got beef with you because you did this."
Yeah, don't be bent.
Like, there's
confrontation does not inherently mean fighting. It just means that you take problems head on.
Yeah, and you just want to solve something rather than letting it, because like 9 times out of 10 in the workplace, it'll basically boil up until something small will happen with said coworker or said person, and then it turns into something
either
huge.
One of you snaps, and then it becomes an HR issue, or somebody goes to a manager and just like makes it a bigger issue than it needs to be. And it's like,
yeah, and it's like
Becky, drink my water.
Yeah, and it's like they explain it, and even the manager HR is like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dog? You guys are
now fighting? This is an issue. I don't really know what to do here, but this is my problem."
Yeah, and so for me, it's like, bro, like confronting somebody, what it looks like is genuinely like either taking somebody to the side or being like, "Hey, bro, like, respectfully, like for me, anytime I start off a conversation with respectfully, it usually turns out a lot better because you're like, I make it known, hey dog, respectfully, I'm not coming at you. I'm not trying to hit you with any attitude or like be disrespectful here. But
ironically, every time you say respectfully to me, I know you're about to say some out of pocket shit or something that's going to piss me off.
Yeah. But since I say respectfully,
no,
you
it doesn't make me feel better. It just makes me feel like I'm like, oh, good. I'm going to be annoyed with Brendan for the next 5 minutes.
So like, but for me, it's always like, hey bro, like, you know, hey bro, you did this. And it low-key rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know if you meant it. Because 9 times out of 10, bro, when people get, like, tripped out about something, it's not even meant that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, a lot of people do something, and they're like, bro, I didn't even mean
we literally talked about that as, like, I don't know which episode it was on, like, 4 of, like...
perception.
Yeah, like, you do something, and like, you send it over text, and then...
people read it completely the wrong way.
They didn't read it the way that you meant it, and like that just like conversational disconnect.
Yeah, and so like
which happens in person too.
Yeah, so like
just touch your leg.
No, you gotta kind of liked it. Oh man, no, but like dead ass, bro. Like, cause you know, there's times in the workplace where like either a server or somebody on the line be like, hey bro, like I really need this, like on the fly, yada yada, and then they get stressed out about it, but then they come off with such like anger or like disrespect. You're like, damn bro, like you couldn't ask for that like nicely, you know what I mean? Or like you couldn't said that in a nicer way. It's all about how you talk to people. 9 times that, because we said it in earlier episodes, life's all about 90% reactions and 10% actions.
Yeah, I actually had that tonight where like somebody was like, I was like polishing glasses and talking to somebody. It was the time I was talking about relationship advice, and one of the servers comes up that I'm actually cool with, and he's like, hey, I need glasses at this table now. We don't have any. And I'm like, all right,
yeah,
I'll get those for you right now. I'm like, we had no glasses before this. Like tonight we had nothing.
I was fully aware. We ran out of wine glasses, and my man asked me for like 3, and I looked up and I said, can you see
them?
Get
on there.
I was like, do you see any up there? And he was like, oh shit.
Get on there.
Oh man, no, yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, no, anyway, and I was just like, yeah, I got you. And like, I just didn't take it to heart, but I'm like, I wish you didn't ask me that way. And like, obviously the way that I'm describing it is not do it justice, but it's like, you know, when somebody coming at you with like, why aren't you doing your fucking job, or like a little bit of heat. And it's like,
or one of those things where they're stressed out and they don't realize how they're coming off to people. That's like, it happens so often where people don't realize like how they come off or like what they say to people.
But I'm like, I'm having a good time. I don't give a shit. Like whatever. Like I'll go give them their 8 glasses. Yeah. And it's just like,
and the difference between you and other people is that other people will let that affect them. Like from then on, they have a shitty shift.
And like for me, that happens too. It's more just like
learning to let it roll.
Yeah, learn to let it roll. And that doesn't mean that let people walk over you, because obviously that's not good. But, you know, having that in reality, what I should have done in that moment has been like, hey, dude, like, could you just say like, please, or like be a little chill about it? And like, that's where the conversation ends.
Oh, I'll joke about it with people. I'm like, hey, yo, you know, you could have said that a little bit fucking nicer, right? And then they'll just be like, oh, my bad, dude. And then they'll laugh about it and be like, ah.
No, see, I won't do that. I'll literally just be like, hey, dude, can you not be a dick about it? I'll be like, hey, dude, like, I get it, you're stressed, but
so
I haven't done anything to you.
Yeah, literally, bro. Like, don't take
like
that
I'm literally on your team.
Yeah, like, don't take that shit out on me.
I'll leave your fucking tables dirty.
Facts. I won't bust shit. Except this stumper.
But, like, having that conversation with people, just, like, don't be... And that's what so many of our answers are going to be to a lot of our problems whenever we do this podcast is, like, communicate. Talking is fucking everything. And people are so scared of confrontation, especially nowadays.
And I think not only are they afraid of it, but it's almost super refreshing when people are able to accept it. It is so refreshing to be able to talk to a human being, confront them about something, and then they go, damn, bro, I never saw it that way. Or I'm so sorry, I genuinely didn't mean it like that.
And if I'm honest, okay, oh, dude, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. There's a podcast episode, and it's these people who do like business stuff. But the episode is literally just about talking how to have hard conversations with people. And if I can find it, I'll link it down below, because I think everybody should listen to it, because it is such a blessing to be able to understand that, like, 9 times out of 10, that conversation ends. That person will think about it for like 30 minutes, take something away from it, or just leave it, and then they'll move on with their life and they'll get over it. people do not hold on to shit as long as you think they will, especially if you are willing to show that you don't have a problem with them and it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, bro. People who do hold grudges are literally looking for like beef.
Looking for problems.
Yeah, they're looking for beef in
Your
life.
life gets 9 times easier if you just let go of the bitterness.
Yeah, bro. It's like, for me, it's like we said earlier, bro. There's so much shit that we can't control. So when someone else is like wilding out, or if someone else is having a rough time, like when someone else talks to me angry, or like if someone comes at me, my first reaction is, damn, bro, they're really going through some shit. I'm like, if it makes them feel better taking it out on me, I don't give a fuck, because I don't let that shit affect me. But I mean, knowing like if they were to take that out on somebody else who wasn't me, I'm like, damn, bro, do you even think about how you would make that somebody else feel? You know what I mean? So like learning and understanding how you talk to people is so huge, because like it doesn't matter if they're older, younger, fucking middle aged, like whatever they are, male, female, whoever. You know what I mean? Like, it does not matter the human being. If you come at somebody with pure intentions and just respect and good energy, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get that back. And if you don't, again, that person's probably going through some shit. They're gonna take it out on you because you're probably a random fucking person.
Which doesn't make them right. It's
not right, but that also doesn't mean that you let it dictate how the rest of your day is going or how the rest of your shift's going.
Let's talk about the people who you don't work with. Most of this conversation has been suited towards something that is applicable towards all jobs, in the sense of like how to deal with coworkers, or just like how to go into work with a better mindset, that type of stuff. Most of this is applicable to all job environments. Let's kind of focus on job environments that are more service industry, or like where you are dealing directly with customers. Because I want to talk about like how to understand that like customers aren't the enemy, but you shouldn't really bend over for them either. Like, one of the big things is that they'll say like the customer is always right, but they're fucking not, one. And two, there needs to be a line. So how do you dictate where that line is, and how do you handle situations like that?
It's actually funny that you're saying that, because Jonathan again was saying it earlier today. He was like, he had told one of the other servers, he was like, hey bro, you remember when I had spilled water on that guy's shoe? And he like completely tried cussing me out type shit. And Jonathan looked at the dude and said, sir, you're not going to talk to me like that, and I will not serve you. He was like, I'm sorry that I spilled water on your shoe. He was like, but it is not that deep. And then he had another server come and take care of him, because he had told our manager, like, bro, I'm not going to serve them. Like, he just tried to cuss me out type shit. Like, I'm not with that. You know what I mean? So it's like, no matter where you're working at industry wise, like,
know your worth.
Yeah, it's never okay to let a customer disrespect you. And if a manager comes up to you and you go, hey, why did you talk to the customer like that? And you tell them because they disrespected me and treated me like shit, and your manager goes, so what? You should not be working there.
Then that, or you got to really be like, would you talk to them if they talk to you like this?
Yeah, because 9 times out of 10, they're covering for the business, or like, oh, customer this, customer that. And I've seen it plenty of times, especially at said coffee place, where a customer will come through, wild out on somebody, and then the manager goes, just let it slide. Are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely not.
Get the fuck out of my line.
Literally, bro. All right, cool. I know you paid for your drinks, but I'll refund them right now, and you can fucking just keep it pushing, bro. Because it got to a point where running nights over there, we've had to tell plenty of people, like, you're not about to talk to us like that. I don't know who the fuck you think you are. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like we said,
and obviously don't approach it exactly like that.
Yeah, but like not obviously super disrespectful, but it's like you said, know your worth. Know that like another human being isn't any better than the next human being. You know what I mean?
And here's what gets me is like, I think that people are so right when they say everybody should have to work a service job.
Yeah.
Because it's misery half the time. The people don't want to do it. They do it because they need to make ends meet, and it's a job they can get. And, you know, for whatever reason, this, that, or the other, like, they can't get a full career job. Like, right now, it is not ideal for me to get a career job, because as soon as I quit my second job, I can focus on doing my big projects again, things that really get me to where I'm not working for somebody, to where I'm just working for myself.
Yeah.
And so it's not ideal for me to get a career job. But these are the people also, like, they laugh and they go like, oh, you're going to go work at, you know, McDonald's, but like, or, you know, like you're working at a restaurant, or like I would get judged for working at the place that we worked at, like the coffee shop, you know, but I'm the person that you go to get all that shit. If I'm not there, that shit's not running and you're not getting shit.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, like, everyone's got their job, everyone's chasing a bag, and who are you to come at me sideways because my job isn't the thing that you aspired to get or that you hate?
Yeah, bro, and it kills me when people who are like, don't get me wrong, like if you're working, like I know hella people who like work like super heavy labor jobs that are paying like 30, 40 bucks an hour. Like, good for fucking you, but you're also putting in 80, 90 hours a week and you fucking hate your life.
And your body's dead.
By the time you're 40, your body's going to be in 90 different pieces. Okay, so do me a favor, shut the fuck up, make your money, be happy. Don't judge nobody else on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, don't do that, bro. Don't try and downplay. And it kind of goes back into like, everyone thinks that like, especially, so for me, the way I kind of see it is kind of like coming out of high school again. You know what I mean? Where you start to see like, you'll see a couple people, oh, you know, this person's popping off, doing well for them, yada, yada. You know what I mean? So automatically it kind of puts that shit in people's brain where they're like, oh, I have to step it up. I have to be better. It's okay to have that motivation, but don't base your shit off of other people's accomplishments, because at some point you're going to have your breakthrough. You're going to have your moment where you're like, fuck, I figured it out. You know what I mean? Like I got it. I got my path. You know what I mean? And no matter, like I said in the first couple episodes, it doesn't matter if you're 75 and you just figured out, or if you just turned 20 and you figured that shit out. As long as you some point still work towards what you're trying to do and figure it out, you're good, bro.
People say life's not a race. I say life's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You are not rewarded for busting ass for the first mile. You're rewarded for pacing yourself
and how
for
you
the
finish.
full 10.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, it is, country western father.
In all aspects.
You know, I think that it's always hard because you want to appease a customer because that is technically your job, one. Two, nobody wants to get in trouble for I didn't do enough for the customer, and then like have to take that on and be pissed about it, because then you're mad at your manager because you're getting mistreated and whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. And three, which is also an option of like, you need the pay that they'll give you. You need them to tip, so you want to kiss ass, you want to do this thing, you want to bend over for them in an aspect, but also like it does boil down to like, know your worth. Nobody should be talked to like they're less than, or
just because you're serving somebody, or because
just in general.
Yeah, like at all. Like, no one is above anybody. I don't care how much fucking money you make. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care what you are, bro. You're still a human being, and we are all on the same playing level.
Yeah. You know, I had an interaction with a customer when I was running at the coffee, and she was like, oh, what do you do? Because I was like, oh, I'm going to go home and I'm going to work. Because I was like, I'm going to go do more shit. And then she was like, oh, what do you do? I was like, oh, I do like this. Like, I do the enter project here, And then she was like, oh, well, like, what, are you still in school? I was like, no, I graduated college. And she's like, why do you work here? And I'm like, one, that's none of your fucking business. And two, because this is what gives me money, so I don't have to work for people later. It allows me to like work around stuff. I'm like, it's one of those moments of like, it's not necessarily a mean question, and the way you word it is everything, but also like, you don't know what that other person's done or is doing.
Yeah, because I definitely know a lot of people who, that's such a weird question to ask somebody, because I know so many people who have degrees and they're like, I literally don't even want to use my degree.
Yeah.
They're like, I
don't know what the statistic is, but most people who get a degree don't even get a job in the field that they got the degree in.
Yeah, most people don't even use their fucking degree. Nobody uses that piece of paper 9 times out of 10. And if they do, they literally are like, yo, this is not what I thought this was going to be.
Yeah. And our point is here is like, don't be an asshole, and understand that like when you are serving people, also, know your worth. Don't bend over completely backwards for these people. And
also, if you're a consumer and a customer, don't be a bitch. Do not be an asshole. Again, there are human beings who you have no idea what the fuck they are going through behind whatever fucking place you're at, whether it be a supermarket, whether it be eating in a restaurant, whether it be getting coffee, whether it be fucking having someone change your oil in your car, like in any service industry.
And that also applies to like, don't make somebody's job harder. Don't be like, well, that's what they get paid for. Fuck you. That's what I get paid for. I don't get paid to go grab your cart from the middle of the fucking, parking lot. I don't get paid to go fucking pick up your toddler's shit all over the floor. Like,
yeah, bro. Like, it's like, oh yeah, they get paid 9 times out of 10, bro.
I don't get paid a fucking enough for your shit.
Exactly, bro. Like, I get paid to do my job, and my job is not to cater to every fucking human being like they're God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My job is to get you your product and get you the fuck out.
Yeah. All in all, understand that like communication is the key to having a good work environment.
What you put in is what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and don't leave everything at the door, but make sure you're willing to talk about like when you need that time or you need that space, you need that bubble.
And don't expect somebody to do something that you would not do yourself or are not willing to do.
Yeah, have good work ethic. Have good work ethic. And if you're in an upper management position, understand that your customer is no longer the customers. Your customer are the people below you. Facts. And that's the biggest thing that I've always said.
Facts. Yeah, bro. Because now you're in control of the people who are.
And if your customers aren't happy, then it doesn't matter what the lower customers say, like what your actual business customers are. Because if your employees aren't happy, your customers won't be happy.
You're never going to get a good output from it.
But yeah, that's kind of where I think we should come up from.
Yeah, bro. And if you guys have any other like things when it comes to work environment, like in specifics, because there's always like certain situations and shit like that. And if you want to hear about certain shit, drop it down in the comments, tweet at us.
Coming up for air. Or is it up for air? Cast.
I think it's up for Aircast.
At up for Aircast on Twitter.
Yeah, bro, but it'll be linked down below. But yeah, bro, throw it at us, honestly. With whatever you want to hear about.
So let's come up.
Yeah, I'm down.
Brendan, you want to talk about competitive?
Yeah, bro. Me, Jaxon, and my brother recently have gotten put into a tournament for Apex. And I was talking to Jaxon about it, and he was like, bro, I haven't played comp in so long. He was like...
I used to play CSGO competitively, like for money in like tournaments.
Yeah. So, and this is the first, like we've been doing custom lobbies where like, they're called scrims. And for those who obviously don't game or don't really like know that, they're called scrims. And it's basically where you go against other people who are looking to kind of gauge where their skill level is at. And you play against people who are fucking demons in the game. And you also have people who are like, okay, they're okay, and it's kind of like where everyone can kind of gauge where their skill level's at, so they can kind of either one, get humbled and they're like, hey, I'm not the person who I thought I was, and two, they're kind of like, all right, I need to pick my shit up. So we've been kind of running scrims for a little bit, and then my brother had told me, he was like, hey, yo, like there's a tournament in August, I got a spot for us through his organization, shout out to RG. Love you guys.
Roots Gaming.
Yeah, Roots Gaming Global Entertainment. Drop them a follow. It's literally everywhere. Roots Gaming Global Entertainment. You just gotta look it up.
Yeah, they're the biggest esports league in Hawaii.
Yeah, shout out to them. Much love. But yeah, man, they got us a spot in a tournament for Apex, and I just think it's cool because like Jaxon said, he hasn't played in a while. I used to play like MLG. Like for like Black Ops Zombies, but even that was kind of like super low tier. You'd play for like little pots of money. But I think this one's going to be a good solid pot. My brother was saying, I think they're going to put a good amount of money in there. And I just think it would be cool to like compete against other people for something rather than just like.
It's also really good to get our name out, which is the thing I'm honestly more excited for.
Yeah, because genuinely, like if we really do pop off and we make a name for ourselves.
One good clip.
Yeah, bro, it's literally one thing or it's one person where, maybe someone gets a squad wipe or, like little things like that where they're like, hey, bro, like who the fuck is this kid? You know what I mean? Like,
who's the squad?
Yeah, like who are they? You know what I mean? And then check us out. And it's good publicity. It'll be good for us. But I'm just excited because obviously like me and you are streamers, we're content creators. And I think this is a good opportunity, like you said, to kind of get our names out there and really like start getting into it. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited, but that's kind of like what I'm really looking forward to. We're going to be practicing for like the next month or so. So if you're into watching people play games competitively, you should tune into our streams.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
For me, I want to talk about my math teacher in high school. Yeah. So there's no way that this gets back to him.
Has to.
No, there's no way that it does. He was my math teacher in freshman year of high school. Very pivotal year.
Long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago for me.
Because Jackson's like 42 with 2 kids.
I do have 2 kids. So this teacher was super impactful on my life, honestly. Now, this guy, when I went into high school, the building that was like our math building was overcrowded. So we had too many students and not enough classrooms and not enough teachers. So in the English building, there's basically where the special ed department was. It was just a long hallway with like 7 classrooms or something around there. One of those classrooms was an overflow classroom for my math class. So we went to the special ed department, which of course we got bullied for, because it was just like, it was basic algebra. Mm-hmm. That was it. There was nothing special about it. There was nothing like, it wasn't like, lower grade math or anything. It was just too many students, and I got randomly picked to go there. Yeah. And so we would go there every day for a year to this classroom. And this man was the sweetest teacher I've ever had. And I've had a lot of teachers that I love. Like my theater teacher, love her to death. And my, the tech teacher that I had, love him to death. But this man like had a bigger impact on my life in more of like a brain hole sense. He was the type of guy who I would come in and he had like, dude, he was like obsessed with Bruce Lee.
What a fucking guy.
Yeah, like he would have like quotes on the projector
Enter
screen.
the Dragon.
He would have like quotes from Bruce Lee on the board, or he'd be like, today at the start of class, we're going to listen to a quote from Bruce Lee. And I'd be like, okay.
Because Bruce Lee is like God.
And so it's like the like, be like water, my friends quote is like ingrained in my brain because I heard that so many times.
Yeah, bro. Water can take any form, shape any form. Be like water,
my friends. Yeah. Flow like water.
Facts. What a great quote.
And it's true. But anyway, so, and that's always something that I can pick out as like Bruce Lee reminds me of him.
Bruce Lee is him.
Himothy.
Himothy.
And I remember one day, he's literally just one of the nicest guys. I did a lot of parkour back in high school, and I miss doing it so much.
Parkour?
Yeah.
Like jumping off shit to other shit?
Yeah. And like I know how to do kongs, I knew how to do like dashes. So like I could like throw my feet over stuff and then like push forward. I could climb shit. I really miss doing it. I want to get back into it.
Whenever you decide to get back into it,
I got to start working out again, and then we can go to that.
We're doing that.
Yeah. I'll show you it.
Because I want to get into like
free running is really fun, and if we went and traveled somewhere that was like really advantageous for it, because downtown is really bad for it.
And you could probably die.
I'll probably blur that out. But
oh yeah, I'm not trying to let people know where we're at, but yeah.
I think we've literally talked about it before, but it's fine. Anyway.
No, that'd be sick, bro. I'd be super down for that.
Yeah, it's super fun. I really miss doing it. But at one point during it, he was like, we had killed all of our homework and shit and work, and I was an awful student. I've said this multiple times on the podcast. The worst student. I was really good in his class because he pushed me to be good, and he knew how to cater to me. But we set up like one of these long desks. So for anybody who didn't go to like public school or anything like that, there's like single desks, which are like small.
They're like little squares that
really
like
tiny.
have a chair like metal attached to them.
Yeah, and then there's long desks, which are typically like teacher desks, and those are the size of like normal like meeting tables.
Yeah, kind of like this size, but it kind of
they're longer.
Yeah, but it has like the L part to it. Is that
not
what you're talking about?
not that one. Just like ones like these where it's just a rectangle, but it's pretty
massive.
Long. It's like 6 feet long.
Oh, okay, I feel you.
It's probably like 6 feet. For this next reason is why I know. At one point, he's like. Yeah, we were talking about me doing parkour for some reason because he was just asking about my outside of school life, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like I do parkour." And he's like, "What the fuck is parkour?" So he pulls up parkour on YouTube, plays a video in front of the whole class,
and those kids on YouTube are probably fucking cracked at it.
Yeah, actually, he pulled up a pretty generous video for me.
Oh, swear.
Yeah, and so he's like, they were like, "Do you know how to do that?" And it was like a dash. I was like, "Yeah, I know how to do that." And they're like, "Do it over a desk." And I was like just one of our small desks, and they're like, yeah. And so I do it like it's fucking easy, it's like I could step over our desks.
Yeah.
So I do a little dash, and then they're like, oh, sick. And then they're like, can you do it over a bigger desk? I was like, yeah. And so they pull this long table
Wipe
into
everything off.
and this is the last period that I have of the day too.
Oh, that's lit.
So they pull this long table out, put it in the middle of the room, and they're like, okay, do it now. And so I'm like, vertical or horizontal? So horizontal would be not as much space width-wise. And so they're like, no, do it lengthwise, do it long ways. I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah. So I like get my run up and I do my dash. And like I clear the table straight, and everybody's like, "Yeah, woo!" Like super hyped about this thing that I'm like, this is not super easy. This is stuff that I learned pretty early on.
That's sick. I did not know that about you.
Yeah, I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
Shout out to this fucking podcast because I learned something new about Jaxon every single fucking time.
Anyway, I love that man, and he taught me so much. And you know, if somehow the fates align and you manage to hear this, reach out. It'd be great to hear from you.
Facts. I hope you're doing a great fucking thing.
But yeah, he was honestly so sweet and so caring, and he got taken advantage of in that fucking class.
No, for real though. Shout out to all the teachers who like genuinely like
try
and realize that like the schoolwork that they give them is bullshit. Mm-hmm. Especially in the state that we do live in. It is just a lot of busy work, especially going through high school. But to the teachers who like genuinely try and like develop their students' brains and like help them out in life and like really do things, like you guys mean so much more to the future than you think you do. And I think that they know that. But to the people who like, because there's teachers who obviously like during the summer they have to get a second job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless like their significant other, they have somebody at home who's like also pulling money. Or
they're doing summer school.
Or they're doing summer school, but 9 times out of 10 they do have to get a second job just for the summer to be able to make ends meet. You know what I mean? And so the people who continuously come back and like I've had those teachers where I'm like, bro, why do you teach? And they're like, honestly, not even to teach, but to impact the next generation. You know what I mean? And those people mean so much. Those are like,
it's like the scene in School of Rock with Jack Black.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've touched your kids, and I think they've touched me too. Or your kids have touched me, and I think I've touched them too. And all the parents lose their shit.
Yeah.
But it's literally literally that scene without the like pedophile joke.
Yeah. It's genuinely like, because it does go both ways when like, especially when that student has that like light bulb moment of what their teacher has been telling them or trying to impact them on. And then also that teacher seeing like, oh shit, they finally get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like there's times where like, obviously teachers have their favorites and teachers have like their people that are like, damn bro, I want to see you succeed. So like for me, like I knew I was never good at like doing actual schoolwork, but all of my teachers always came up to me and it's like, all right, bro, I know you're not doing your schoolwork, but
please tell me you're doing something.
And not only that, but it was like have a direction with what you're doing, because a lot of teachers told me when I speak, people listen whether I like it or not. Just because my voice always carried, I was always energetic. I was always like I always like ended up like attracting people whether I wanted to or not. So my teachers always told me like, bro, you have a power that you don't realize you have. Use it for something good. You know what I mean? So like for me, it didn't start really clicking until like sophomore, junior year, where I was like, all right, bro, like I do have some type of impact, you know what I mean? And it really started clicking for me, and I really started taking pride in it. And like, all right, bro, if I'm going to impact somebody, I might as well do it like with some importance. You know what I mean? So shout out to all the teachers, man.
But I think we're going to call it there. We're running a little long even.
Yeah, a little bit. And it's like 1:30 in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning. Grind don't stop.
Real quick, I want to say, if you've enjoyed the podcast, make sure to rate it and subscribe and do all that stuff. Follow the podcast. Something that we should be shouting out. But those small things, liking it, rating it, all of that stuff, leaving reviews, all of it impacts our podcast and the way that it gets out. And it really helps us move forward.
And clips are coming, but
share the podcast with your friend if you know somebody that needs to hear some of the things that we have to say.
Yeah, bro, and they don't even have to listen to all the episodes. Like if you find one particular episode where you're like, hey, bro, like someone I know can like probably benefit off this, like send it to them. You know what I mean? And also like if you have heard things on different podcasts where you're like, I think they would be cool to like talk about this, fucking shoot us the clip or shoot us the podcast with the episode
Let us
name.
know what you want us to talk about.
You know what I mean? So just reach out. We're here for you guys, and we're here to basically be a voice for the voiceless and hope for the hopeless. You know what I mean?
But yeah.
Hot boy shit.
Brendan, where can they find you?
Instagram. I say this shit every time. It's like Brendan with like 2 or 3 E's and like an underscore or some shit. I'll link it. He'll link it. Twitter is KillerB420. Twitch at KillerB420. I think that's it.
You can find me at TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter at RQ.
Yeah, what he said.
And you can find both of us at Coming Up for Air on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and you can find us on socials at like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Up for Aircast. But until next week, guys, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Love you guys.